Today, the government announced that the sale of all new petrol and diesel cars and vans will be banned by 2030 in the UK, and the sale of plug-in hybrids will be banned by 2035. It's all part of a bigger plan to make the UK's emissions net zero by the year 2050. I would just like to clarify, that does not mean that there will be a ban on petrol and diesel cars and vans in the UK. It just means you won't be able to buy them new anymore. You'll still be able to buy and sell used models, and you'll still be able to drive them on the road in the UK for as long as they are roadworthy. There is always the possibility that this ban will be delayed, maybe even more than once, but we won't know until closer to 2030. So what does this mean to you? Should you still bother learning how to drive a manual car, or should you just learn how to drive an automatic? After all electric cars only require you to have an automatic license. Well, let's think about this. At the moment, 75% of cars in the UK are manual. And if the ban was to happen in 2030, you're still going to have many petrol and diesel cars, which are going to be a mix of automatic and manual, around for a very long time. The average age of a car in the UK is 9 years. So if I had to make a guess, I would say by the year 2040, 20% of cars on the road are probably still going to be manual in the UK. So if you want the option to be able to drive all cars and vans on the road in the UK for the next 20 to 30 years, you still want to pass your driving test in a manual. There's going to be plenty of manual cars on the road for a very long time. What worries me is how are they going to tax cars in the future? At the moment, we have fuel duty. So when you fill up your car with petrol or diesel, a big percentage of what you're paying for is actually just tax. Now, if people stop buying petrol and diesel, the government are going to need to find other ways to get that money. One suggestion is road pricing, and people have been talking about this for at least 20 years now, and nothing has happened. Fortunately, it's not something I actually want to happen, because road pricing means that someone knows exactly where you are all the time. They monitor every mile you drive. So we'll all need to have technology in our cars watching our every move. I don't know how the public are going to react to that. In my experience, most people don't want that kind of surveillance. But also what worries me about that is the infrastructure needed to implement it. You'll need an army of people to monitor it and all the technology that will go into it. So therefore, that's a big cost that's going to need to be paid for, which means you'll end up paying even more per mile to drive than you do now. I never thought I'd be using the words fuel duty and great in the same sentence, but I am now. Fuel duty is great. Now let me justify it. Fuel duty goes towards, well, it should go towards building and repairing roads. When you fill up your car with fuel, you're paying fuel duty. Therefore, the more miles you drive, the more fuel you buy, the more you pay for the road. The less miles you drive, the less you pay for the road. So it's a very fair way to price the roads. And it's practically free to implement. The government just need to charge you tax on the fuel. That's all, and then it's a fair way to implement the use of the roads. If you had road pricing watching your every move and an army of people being paid to decide exactly how much everybody who drives should pay for the use of the roads, that's an incredibly inefficient system that's going to cost a lot of money. Fuel duty also encourages people to be environmentally friendly, because if you have an economical car and drive in an economical way, you're going to be paying less tax. Whereas if you have a bigger, heavier, more polluting car and drive in a very polluting way, you'll be paying more tax. So there's an incentive to be environmentally friendly. So I thought, what's the way around this? If we don't want GPS styled road pricing and less people are buying petrol and diesel, so there's less fuel duty being paid to go towards the road, how can the government recoup that fuel duty for the roads? And I thought, very easy, put the fuel duty on the electricity. Simple, same effect. But second thought that came to my head was someone who doesn't drive, who just heats their home, watches TV, uses electrical devices at home, and now is paying for the road. And I didn't like that. I didn't think that was very fair at all. But there is a way around it. Just give every household a personal allowance. So every household is allowed X amount of kilowatt hours of electricity before they start paying fuel duty. And they should work out roughly how much each household is going to need so that they don't pay fuel duty unless they're blatantly using so much electricity that they are charging an electric car at home. That has the same economical effect as well, because the less energy you use, the less fuel duty you use. So people will still want to use less energy and drive more economical cars, because electric cars aren't all the same. Some electric cars are more economical than others. So I think that may work. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you think this video is helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to get my future videos if you haven't already. Until the next one, cheerio.